Hello friends, today I want to talk about my favorite type of tea, yellow tea. As you probably know, there are six main types of tea. There is green tea, there is white tea, there is yellow tea, oolong tea, red tea is what we call in the West black tea, and then there is pu'er heicha, dark tea. So what is yellow tea? The first mention of yellow tea comes from Tang Dynasty. However, back in those days, it was a very different tea that has very little to do with the yellow tea that we know today. Back then, they called yellow tea those plants that had yellowish color of leaves. And today, we call yellow tea type of tea that undergoes a certain processing steps. Um, the yellow tea that we know today comes from around late 16th century, somewhere around 1570s. Um, and Today, yellow tea is produced mainly in Hunan, in Anhui, and Sichuan provinces. And today, yellow tea is the most rare type of tea out of all six. And why it's so rare is because the production of this tea is pretty complicated. It's a very complex and labor intense process that requires really skillful knowledge and approach. So, how do we make green tea? Basically, as soon as leaves are picked, they start oxidizing. And in order to halt oxidation, to capture, to preserve the freshness of the leaves, they undergo what is called Kilgreen shaching. So green teas they undergo shaching on a pre-early stage, and shaching means um, subjecting tea leaves to high temperature. Um, with green teas in China, the way they do it is they pen roast them in wokes. So the temperature is usually around 150 degrees Celsius. So they pen roast the tea, and under the heat, the enzyme activity halts. With yellow tea, they undergo shaching at the same stage as green tea. However, the temperature is usually a bit lower. It's between 120 and 150 degrees. Under such temperature, the oxidation slows down significantly. However, it doesn't stop completely. And after yellow tea undergoes shaching, then they wrap the leaves in small batches, and they wrap them in either cloth or a type of paper that is a breathable type of paper, and they put it in a hot and humid environment for either number of hours or even a few days, depends on the processing. And that stage is called menhuang, is yellowing the leaves. So in this hot and humid environment, the leaves they undergo uh, micro oxidation. So the sharpness, as a result of this micro oxidation, the sharpness and astringency and some bitterness that is usually found in green tea, it dissipates and it transforms into sweetness. So yellow teas, they are similar to green teas. However, they are more sweet and they have more rounded taste. And the signature taste profile of yellow tea is nutty flavor, nutty notes in the taste. Uh, So it's like a green tea, but more rounded, sweeter, with more nuttiness in it. And at first, the way it came to existence is was because of the mistake in, as I said, like 1570s. They were making a batch of green tea, and the temperature wasn't high enough, and at first they thought that the batch was spoiled, but once they tried it, um, they liked the taste and they continued experimenting with it, and they came up with this processing step that we know today as menhuang. And this Menhuang step is crucial for making yellow tea, and it's a very sophisticated step where tea master has to really control the humidity and the heat, and has to observe how tea is responding to it, and he has to adjust the temperature and the humidity all the time. He has to be in control all the time, and because of that, it's a very complicated and very um, sophisticated processing step. Not many tea masters take on this task. It's much easier to make green tea than yellow tea, and the demand in China and around the world is not nearly as high as for green tea. So most tea producers, they don't want to take on this task, and this type of tea is disappearing type of tea. I'm proud to say that in our shop we have a large selection of yellow teas, probably one of the largest in the US. And the teas, the most famous yellow teas are Mengding Huangya. It's yellow buds from Mengding Mountain in Sichuan, and Huoshan Huangya. It's from Mountain Huo in Anhui province. And despite the name of Huoshan Huangya, which translates as yellow buds from Mountain Huo, um, they not necessarily yellow buds. It's unlike with Mengding Huangya, it's not the type of leaves that are used, but it's a name of the an umbrella name of the yellow teas that made in on Hoa Mountain. And also there is Junshan Yinzhen and other yellow teas. Some yellow teas are made from buds. Some yellow teas are made from lower leaves and stalks, like our Huang Dacha, very nice roasted yellow tea. And there is a variety of yellow teas on the market and available in our shop. And I want to mention that these days a new type of so-called yellow tea is becoming more and more popular, is starting out in Yunnan. However, in Yunnan, they usually don't follow the processing steps that are done in Sichuan, Anhui, Hunan. These teas usually don't undergo menhuang. Instead, they produce them as lower oxidized red teas. So the taste is closer to red teas, to what we call black teas. It's just a lower oxidized, more bright and mellow red tea, so to say. Um, but you can find these teas on the market, and some of them are pretty tasty. But in my opinion, the teas that don't undergo the menhuang step can hardly be called yellow teas. So I hope this was informational and interesting, And if you want to find yellow teas, look into the description. I will leave a link there. And also take a look in the first comment. There is going to be a link there. Sign up for our newsletter to stay in the know. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.